What's up, everyone? This is Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness. I'm just going to do a video today on COVID-19, how you can help avoid contracting it yourself, and also just what you can be doing in the meantime. All right, so first of all, know how it spreads. So there's currently no vaccine to prevent coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19. There are a couple tests that are being done. Japan has had some success with theirs. Canada, potentially, Italy. Yeah, there's a couple that are near, but there's not currently a cure for it. So just be aware of that. There is not a cure for COVID-19 right now. So the best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to it in the first place. This seems pretty straightforward. The virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person. So within 6 feet, and this is mostly because it's through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. So you are contracting this from getting coughed on, sneezed on, or touching something that someone has recently coughed on or sneezed on, and then touching your face, mouth. So yeah, avoid that. Clean your hands often. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after you have been in a public place or after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. If soap and water are not readily available, use a hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Cover all surfaces of your hands and rub them together until they feel dry. So make sure, obviously, soap and water should be your first option with this. Try not to go out and use all of the hand sanitizer that you can find. I feel like this should be more of a last resort because we have a finite supply of Purell and everything else. So try to use soap and water first. If that is not available, then use hand sanitizer. Okay? So then also avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Avoid touching any part of your face, honestly. Just avoid messing with your face as often as possible. So avoid close contact. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Put distance between yourself and other people if COVID-19 is spreading in your community. So again, this is the social distancing thing. Try to stay more than 6 feet away from other people. If you don't have to go out in public, try not to go out in public for right now. Take steps to protect others. Stay home if you are sick. If you feel sick at all, don't go anywhere and try to avoid people. The only places that you should be going are to get medical care. I feel like that's fairly obvious right now. Cover coughs and sneezes. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when you cough or sneeze, or use the inside of your elbow. So also you can sneeze into your shirt. Throw used tissues in the trash. Immediately wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds and your elbow. If you sneezed into your elbow, wash off your elbow too. Don't sneeze into your elbow and then go wiping that on stuff either. So just control your sneezes, your coughs, and clean up after yourself. Wear a face mask if you are sick. If you are sick, you should wear a face mask when you are around other people, example, sharing a room or a vehicle, and before entering a healthcare provider's office. If you are not able to wear a face mask, breathing problems, so if you're on oxygen or anything like that and the face mask just gets in the way, other stuff like that, then you should do your best to cover your coughs and sneezes, and people who are caring for you should wear a face mask if they enter your room. If you are not sick, you do not need to wear a face mask. So if you are caring for someone who is sick, then yes, you do need a face mask. I went to the grocery store the other day, and probably 90% of the people that I saw were all wearing face masks. And I couldn't help but thinking that they were all actually increasing their risk of getting COVID-19. Because I was watching all these people, and they were constantly reaching up to adjust their face mask. So they're constantly touching their face because they're wearing a face mask. And then that just means that if you have the virus on your hands and then you touch your face and then it gets into your mouth and your nose, your eyes, or wherever, and then you get it. And so if you are not sick, you don't need to be wearing a face mask. And honestly, I think that it's going to increase your chances of getting sick if you are wearing a face mask, because you're messing with your face constantly then. So just don't. Save the face masks for those who actually need them, for those who are actually sick, or for the caregivers of those that are sick. Clean and disinfect. Clean and disinfect frequently. This says frequently touch surfaces daily, but clean them every time you touch them. This includes tables, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, handles, desks, phones, keyboards, toilets, faucets, and sinks. I feel like phones especially is a big one because we touch our phones constantly throughout the day. We are constantly holding them, picking them up, setting them down on surfaces, picking them back up, putting them in our pockets. I don't know how often you wash your jeans, how often you wash your desk, everything else, but your phone is constantly touching all of that. So keep that in mind. Just wipe stuff down. Just clean it. It doesn't take that long. If surfaces are dirty, clean them. Use detergent or soap and water prior to disinfection. And then to disinfect, most common EPA-registered household disinfectants will work. Use disinfectants appropriate for the surface. There are some that work better on fabric than on others, and so on and so forth. You can use the bleach. You can go with the bleach option. Of course, as it says right down in here, do not mix bleach with ammonia or any other cleanser. We don't want you creating any explosives or anything like that. Be very careful when you're handling bleach. It's not a great thing to be blending. Ensure solution has at least 70% alcohol. I've seen a couple that have said make sure that it has at least 60% alcohol. I feel like go with the higher option just to be safer. I feel like the CDC, go with the 70% alcohol. Just make sure that you're killing everything. And then products with EPA-approved emerging viral pathogens. Claims are expected to be effective against COVID-19 based on data for harder-to-kill viruses. So they're basing this off of past research. In the end, just clean stuff. Just keep it clean, okay? So that's about all. This is all, again, on the cdc.gov website. So if you have any questions, any doubts, read it. It never hurts to be extra cautious on this. So, that's about that with there. I also wanted to talk a little bit about just what you can do if you're worried about going out in town, if you're worried about going to the grocery store, anything like that. There's a lot of options. Uber Eats delivers. There's other options for delivery. If you're having trouble finding meals with different things, Amazon is a great place. You can order stuff on there. You can order food and everything on there. Sounds like they have a little bit of a delay right now. They're a little backed up at the moment. So try and keep that in mind. Everything may not be completely available right now. So one of the things that I've been doing, I usually take a little bit of protein if I'm lacking. Right now, just with some of the food being a little bit harder to get a hold of, I've been taking a little bit more protein. So I usually go with Nutricost whey protein concentrate. This is the 5-pound tub. The concentrate's great. It has some of the carbs and fats still in. So it works great just for like shakes and stuff like that. So like one of my favorite shakes after a workout is I love to do the concentrate with milk, and then I like to add some peanut butter, some blueberries, some oatmeal, different stuff like that, where it's going to add more sustenance in it, and it turns it into a full meal. You can get a good sized meal out of that. There's during this time, you don't have to have all these regular meals. Take the time, look up some other fun recipes. I'd say if you're stuck at home, you don't need to stockpile everything, okay? There's plenty that you can do with what you already have. That's one thing that I learned in the military very quickly, is that you can survive on just about anything, okay? We had plenty of times where we would miss an underway replenishment at sea, unrep. They call it an unrep, underway replenishment at sea. And all of a sudden, you're eating, or like one time we got a ton of bananas. That was the only fruit that we got. Well, guess what? We're in a very warm part of the world. Bananas do not last on the shelf very long, and within a matter of days, all the bananas were kind of brown and ugly looking. But you know what? That's all you get. So that's what everyone was eating, and everyone did fine. Nobody died. Nobody starved. Nobody had any issues with anything. Instead of all this panic going on in the grocery stores, right now I'd say learn to shift your diet just a little bit. The public panic, I feel like the media has not done anything to help the panic. And so at this moment, don't contribute to the panic. All these people stockpiling toilet paper, it's pointless. COVID-19 doesn't affect, it's not a gastric bug. It's nothing like that. It's not going to affect, you're not going to need to stockpile toilet paper. That's pointless. All you're doing is making it much more difficult for all the other people who actually need it and are running out. So my thoughts on this at the moment are try to come together, okay? So obviously we need to discourage social interaction to an extent at the moment. But if there's some way that you can help those that are elderly in your community, those that are the single mothers that may need help with something, all of a sudden they can't work because their child's not in school or anything like that, try and find ways that you can help them. If you are going grocery shopping and you find out that there's a single mother who lives down the road from you, offer to pick up groceries for her too. Try and do stuff like that where try and find what's good that is going on is basically what I'm saying. All I've been seeing is all this panic at the moment, and it's pointless. Panic has never helped anybody, okay? So if you feel like you are going to panic, reach out to other people and say, while hanging out more than 6 feet from each other, because we don't need to be breaking the 6-foot rule, what can you do to help? Find a way to help someone else. And if you're helping someone else, odds are that you won't be nearly as freaked out about yourself. So that's just some of my thoughts at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot more going on. It's very serious for some people. For specific populations, this is an extremely dangerous viral disease. For other populations, it doesn't seem like it's very bad at all. So we need to take wisdom with that. We need to realize that for the at-risk populations, try to do what you can to help them. For those that aren't really as at risk, try not to panic and impede those that are. So just take everything with a grain of salt and try to pull together, again, without being more than 6 feet from each other. So anyways, that's just some thoughts that I've had. I've been talking to a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people are very panicked at the moment. So let's try to approach this calmly with cool heads and come together during all this and help each other. So anyways, that's all that I have for today. Just remember to always try to improve that 1% every day.